You might not know it, but my great-grandmother's last name was UNK. Hi, this is Phil again with Family History Fanatics, where we do this little hourglass thing, and then we also do a leaf cutter ant type of art. And laptops. We repair laptops on the side, just as a side business. And most importantly is we have a theater company that we put on Romeo and Juliet and the Nutcracker each year. But that's not why you're here today, because why you're here today is to learn about my great-grandmother whose last name was UNK. Now, this is probably surprising to some people because they think that UNK, that's not really a last name. But it is actually a really popular last name, and you probably have some UNKs in your family too. Now, the way I found out about this is I was looking on the tree online, and I was just, going back to some ancestors, and I found my great-grandmother, and her name, Matilda, was listed, and then for her last name, it was UNK. And I'm like, oh. Now, I'm not Phil UNK because it was my grandmother's last name and my great-grandmother's last name, and I got my great-grandfather's last name, Garnett, instead. But the UNK was something that I hadn't really thought about before, and so as I was going further and further back, not just in her line, but also in lots of other lines, I'm seeing these UNKs. And there's sometimes it looks like there was actually another version of that name, Unknoan, something like that, where it's probably Dutch or something. And my guess is that when they went through some migration to England or Sweden or Japan, they shortened it down to UNK, maybe because the Nguyen just doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well. But anyway, I was noticing all these different UNKs, and so I came up with this theory. I think that there was probably some guy, maybe even some brothers, a long time ago that decided we're going to have as many children as we can and we're going to have a contest. And so they had a contest, and like one of the brothers had 25 kids and one of the other brothers, he had, 27 kids, and probably the winner of the contest had like 56 kids. Now, all of them are named UNK. And so that UNK last name starts to get passed down and around to lots of different people. Now, every now and then you'll actually run across a guy that has the last name of UNK, but usually it is the women that have the last name of UNK. So they must have had lots and lots of daughters. And these daughters, they are just marrying everybody into all these families. And that's why this UNK last name is just everywhere. So I think what you should do is you should go and take a look at your family tree and see how many UNKs you have in your family tree. And I bet, maybe it's not most recently in the last 3 or 4 or 5 generations, but maybe once you get past there, you're going to start to see lots and lots of UNKs. We're related. We're you and I, we probably have an UNK relative in common. So if you like this, then make sure you subscribe and click on that bell so that I can continue to teach you how to do genealogy and find your UNKs.